This piece right here is what I call the tail. When I get ready to assemble, I just want to move this out of the way. I don't want that tail in my way because I need a fin right on this right here. Okay, that's where your fin goes, right on that little strip. So essentially, this is going to be bent down, just like that. So your fin is going to want to go on this edge right there. Now, this is the front of your vehicle. This is the back of your vehicle. So we talked about aerodynamics. You are going to want the slanted surface of your fin facing forward, just like that. So the front of this fin lines up with the front of that slit right there. So you've got your slit right here because that should be 3 inches and that should be 3 inches. So if I line up the bottom of my fin with the bottom of this part right here that's bent down, just like this, with my angled part going forward, that's how your fin is going to want to go on. So the side view is going to look just like that. Okay, top view obviously would just be a line. So that's why I said it's really helpful if you happen to have a glue stick. So if I have a glue stick, what I want to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue where I want my fin to go. Just right on this. So again, this flap is the hardest part. You got to get this thing out of the way. So I'm going to want to put some glue right here. That's where my fin's going to go. Okay. Then I'm going to take my fin and I'm going to line up the bottom of my fin with the bottom of that skimmer and the front with the front. And then I'm just going to press it down a little bit. Okay. Now, if you don't have a glue stick, then what you want to do is take a little tiny piece of tape and put it so that it's half on and half off of your fin. So I took a little tiny piece of tape and I put it so that it's half on and half off my fin. It's hanging off right there. I'm going to line up the back and the bottom of my fin, and I'm just going to fold this under and attach it to that side right there. All right. I'm going to take another small piece of tape and I'm going to come up to the very front right here where that part sticks out. And I'm going to put my piece of tape so that it's half on and half hanging off. And then I'm going to fold that under. And that's another way of assembling that fin. All right. So again, I can come over here. I need my other fin to be facing this way. All right, so both fins are facing forward. There's the front of your air skimmer, and the angled surface is what we want to hit the air. So what I can do is take my fin. I can put some glue right on this spot right there, if you have it, and I can attach the bottom of my fin. I'm going to line up the back and the bottom. The back and the bottom, I'm going to press down. Then I'm going to take tape. Even if you don't have a glue stick, I can take tape. I can put it partway on and partway off of that fin right there and just fold it under so that it attaches. And then I can take another little piece of tape and put it on the front of the fin so that it's blocking this area right there. That's an important area to block. That's going to catch air. So I want to make sure my tape covers that, and then I fold it under. And that's one really easy way to assemble those fins. So right now, I've got my fins attached to the edge, both of them. And I've got this stupid flap that's in the way right there. Okay. Next step is the air scoop. So you're going to take your air scoop. I'm going to fold it down. The thing you have to remember, okay, this is the front of your air skimmer. You want to make sure that the narrowest part is facing forward. All right, so you see this slants. It's wider in the back than it is in the front. Here's the front of my air skimmer. I want to make sure that the narrower part is in the front, and that should fit in really nice. Now, what I think it's easy to do if you have a glue gun. If you have a glue gun, what I do is I will run a thin strip right on that fold. Right where that's folded, I'm going to run a thin strip of glue. I'm going to come over to the other fold. I'm going to run a thin strip of glue, maybe put a little bit of glue on the edge. And then I'm going to take my piece, drop it in, make sure the front is lined up, and just kind of squeeze it together. Just like that. And then I might run another strip of glue right in this crease right there, and another strip of hot glue in that crease right there. So the key is the air scoop is lined up in the front, and you want to make sure that there's just going to be a little tiny, it's going to be about 2/16 of an inch of a gap right there. And it's going to slant itself down to almost even with the back. And that's going to create that angle of attack. Now, this is going to be, when you're assembling, this is going to be something where you're really going to want to watch this video as you're doing it if you're confused. All right, but again, I need to attach this to the bottom. The key is I want the smaller part facing front. And in order to make it stick, just like I showed you before with your glue gun, 2 steps. Thin strip, put it on there. Thick strip, make sure it's all lined up, and that will be attached. It gets a little bit more difficult when you try to attach the back. So now I've got this very back corner of my fin right there, that very back corner. And I've got this corner of my flap that moves up and down. You want to line those two up. So you can see when I line those two up, it's really close in the back and it gets wider in the front. And that's where you want to be careful and put a thin strip of glue right in that crease. And then you can move this so that it's attached. Okay, then I'm going to come over to this side. And I'm going to take the back corner of my fin and the back corner of my little flap tail that moves up and down. And I want to line those up with each other. This is somebody else. Another set of hands might be helpful for this for you. And then I'm just going to put my glue gun right in that crease. And I'm going to put a strip of glue all the way down the back. So you want the back of the tail and the back of your fin to be even. And then it's going to be a little bit slanted. You're going to see how it's going to be nice and close in the back, and it's going to slant up in the front. Okay, because the back is angled down a little bit. So when you have it, it'll be similar to this right here. So the back slants down. All right, if I get something like that, that's loose right inside of here. When I go to look at it before I launch it, if that's loose, I'll just take a piece of tape. Put my piece of tape right there. And that's going to keep that from flopping all over the place. All right, so tape if you have to. A glue stick is helpful when you do your fins. Put a little bit of glue, well, a pretty heavy amount, just so that it attaches your fins. And then you want a piece of tape in the front to keep the air from getting in there, causing drag, and a piece of tape in the back. Do the same over here. Remember your air scoop? It's easiest to put a thin strip of glue on the inside and drop it in there. And then you can see I have a thick strip of glue on this edge and a thick strip of glue on this edge. And then in the back, what I did was I lined up the back of the tail with the bottom of your fin. And I put a strip of glue down the inside edge there. And I did the same here. I lined up the back corner of my tail with the back corner of my fin. And I put a thick strip of glue right down that crease on the inside right there. And that's what your final air skimmer is going to look like from the side, from the top, and from the bottom. You're just going to have this air scoop on there. And remember, the small part faces forward. So you're only going to have about a 2/16 of an inch gap right there. Okay. So that's a lot of information. I'm going to turn this off.